We love to plant Big and Beastie on our farm. We've had a lot of success hunting over it, but there are certain situations where either we didn't get into the field early enough in the late summer, or there's just a spot where we need a different type of attraction. And that's where the Frigid Forage Autumn Quick Plot really comes in. Big and Beastie is best planted by the middle to the latter part of August in the area where I live. Whereas, you know, sometimes, like I said, we just can't get into the fields, whether it's because they're too wet or we just, you know, don't have the opportunity during that window. There has to be something that we can do beyond that time that's going to help us to attract deer during the fall. And that's where the Autumn Quick Plot is at its best. It's got some really fast growing cereal grains with winter wheat and winter rye. It's got some attractive legumes. It's got Austrian winter peas, and that has some forage brassicas, the daikon radishes, purple top turnips, and then some common vetch. So it's got quite a large variety of plants that are going to be good at attracting deer throughout all the stages of the fall. And that's the nice thing about a blend versus planting just a straight up winter wheat food plot, is now you've got something that's more attractive at each stage of the fall. Deer are going to be looking for, you know, maybe the forage brassicas at a certain point, which may be, you know, pulling deer in there later in the season than the winter wheat or the winter rye might. But they all grow fast and they all come up quick, and they provide a fair amount of forage. But more importantly, they provide that green spot. When everything is dying and drying out, you know, all the commercial fields are dying and drying, the clover is starting to wither down, this food plot is going to be fairly frost hardy. It can take a pretty hard hit and still continue to attract deer, whereas most of the things that they feed on, they go from green to brown when that happens. So the deer like that green spot. They'll travel from a great distance if they find something that's green, and you want to take advantage of that. So like I said, even if you've got all the other types of food plots on your property, including the Big and Beastie, there's still a spot there for the Autumn Quick Plot. This is not a seed blend that you would want to broadcast on top of the ground like you might Big and Beastie. You really do need to till up the soil and get this stuff incorporated, because it does best when it's into the ground. The seeds are a little bit bigger. I mean, you've got your winter wheat and your winter rye specifically. They don't do nearly as well sitting on top of the ground as a really small seed would. It's just harder to get good seed to soil contact with a larger seed. You would ideally till the soil, broadcast this blend on top, and then, you know, lightly drag it in. You know, some people will use a four-wheeler and just, you know, pull a fence post or something across, just anything to kind of rough up the soil and partially cover the seed. And then you come back through and pack it. Again, you can do that just by driving back and forth across it with a four-wheeler, or if you can get in the ground right before a good rain, you know, the rain has that same capability of sort of packing the soil in around the seed and giving you that nice seed to soil contact. The plant does, or the blend does like fertilizer. It's got enough of the, well, every single piece of there, or every single thing in the blend is going to do better when you fertilize it. Your winter wheats and your winter ryes, your forage brassicas, they like the nitrogen. So you want to make sure that whatever fertilizer blend that you put with this does have a good supply of nitrogen. And you can put on a heavy rate of triple 19 that you can pick up at a farm co-op or even sometimes at a lawn supply store, and that'll be sufficient. Or you can do soil tests and go the traditional route. A lot of people don't have the time to process that soil test and get all this done, so just spread the triple 19, put a couple 100 pounds per acre, and then till it in, broadcast your seed, drag it lightly, and if you can, pack it. If not, you know, hopefully you got a good rain coming, and within just a few days after that rain hits, you should start seeing the green popping out of the ground. Autumn Quick Plot does best if you plant it at the recommended rate of 25 pounds per acre in an area that receives either full or, you know, close to full sunlight. This is not something that you're going to plant effectively on a trail leading through the woods or a really small plot. You want to get into a little bit more of an open area where you're not going to have a lot of shade. So I'm excited about putting some on our farm this year. And like I said, there's a place for the Autumn Quick Plot in just about any food plot strategy.